Hello, my name is Mike Swanson. I run the website WallStreetWindow.com. I'm not Archie Bunker, but I got to tell you, when you think about some of the things happening in our world, it's easy to feel like Archie Bunker. You may feel like Archie Bunker when you look at how so many young people, so many millennials are dropping out of society. They're not looking for jobs. They're living with their parents. They're not doing anything productive. It's easy to feel like Archie Bunker. And one can only imagine what Archie Bunker would think if he were alive today. Worker productivity is in collapse. What is going on? Is there something wrong uh, with all these young people, or is there a problem that can be fixed? What is really happening? Well, what I do is I run the website WallStreetWindow.com, and every Monday through Friday, before the stock market opening bell, I send out a email full of all the top headlines of the day, links to my thoughts, market commentary, blog posts, and guest posts, other authors that write on my website. But I also link to interesting articles outside of it. And I link to this article written on the website Unheard on last Friday, why millennials are dropping out. And we're going to examine that article in a moment. But I also published one on my website, republished with his permission, by Charles Hugh Smith, Why the Labor Shortage Isn't Going Away. Now, what you should do, I recommend, is scroll below this video and you will see a link to join my free email list. And then you'll get those emails I showed you, so you'll keep up with what is going on from now on. Economic trends and news in the world, everything. But this is the topic we're speaking about at the moment. Why the labor shortage isn't going away. And Charles made some really good points. The nature of work is changing, demographics. There's fewer young people than older people in the United States. And the older age groups are, unfortunately, you know, going to pass away quicker than the younger groups are being replenished. There's the baby boom generation is a bigger generation than the ones under 30. So that's one reason there's a labor shortage. And the psychology of the millennial, we really can't change that. That's just the way it is. But their psychology is playing a huge role in the situation. There's no doubt about it. And they have faced obstacles that people older than him have not. In fact, I think I'm my age, I'm at the pivot point where things got a lot worse for the younger people. The recession of 2008 really was a game changer, and things have never been the same ever since. But the average worth of the take home pay that people make has fallen from the 1970s, and now we're facing inflation. But this is one chart that from the Federal Reserve that Charles put in his article here, showing that the compensation of employees has declined from 1975 to 2018. It's harder for these people to do well. Frankly, um, he says it's a rigged economy. I'm not going to go that far, but housing prices have boomed over the past several years, making it harder for people to buy a home. Younger people, they got to rent. It's harder for them to get ahead. It's harder for them to do any real saving. So they can feel like they're behind the 8 ball. And that leads us to the article on the website Unheard. I'll link to it in the video too. But it's very troubling when you really think about this stuff. Rising disaffection is what this article cites, and inflation soaring, trust in governments plummeting, the global economy really teetering now. The stock market's in the dumps this year, down 17%. One might expect revolt. One might expect the masses in the streets. And we saw some of the masses get angry in 2020, but then they went back home. They got angry over, this video of the police violence of that happened in this one incident, and went out. But the demonstrations did not last. They did not achieve any real meaningful objectives or reform, and apathy is a result. Political apathy is high. The number of people actually voting is declining year after year, and the parties aren't really delivering concrete benefits for their voters. If you speak of the Democrats, for example, their Democratic voting base is demoralized. Biden's approval rating is declining, and he has failed to pass the legislation that he came into office saying he was going to do. Build Back Better failed, thanks to Senator Joe Manchin. But the Supreme Court destroyed Roe versus Wade, demoralizing their voting base, making it so that they're, and demoralized voters are less likely to turn out. I wouldn't be shocked if even in these midterms, there's fewer people voting on the Republican side than there have been in past years too. Demoralization is creating a situation where the moderate voter is dropping out the fastest, and what you have left are more of the political extreme people turning out more, or being more of a portion of the votes than you see in the past. We'll see what happens in November, but the alienation of voting is symptomatic of overall alienation that these younger people are feeling. So they're not being as a lot of them as aggressive to try to better their own lives, to get a job, or go to get educated, to get a better job. And the cost of education have gone up too, skyrocketing. If they go to college, they're then take on the burden of what is essentially a home mortgage that they're going to have to pay off for the rest of their lives. Something that the baby boomer generation did not experience. The GI Bill gave free education to people that came out of World War II as veterans. They weren't saddled with the mega debts. So it's a tough time for these younger people. And apathy, dropout, alienation is what's going on. And this isn't just happening in the United States. In France, only 40% of the electorate voted. They call this in France political desocialization, according to this article. In China, there is a whole movement called lying flat. In Japan, they call the youngsters dropping out the new race of the Japanese that just don't want to. The free tours, living with their parents, spending time traveling and playing video games as much as they can. And this is all contributing to labor shortages that people complain about, bad customer service. But this is the world it is that we're in. The gig economy does not provide health benefits to those that are active in it. Pay and hours are uncertain. The Uber driver does not have his health insurance paid. He has no guaranteed hours. He's got to pay for the upkeep of his cars. And you can find recent exposés of how Uber really beat these people down. In some cases, it was real scandalous. So this is, a wild time we're in. It's not I don't believe it's a permanent situation, but it is something else when you really think about it. But my message, though, is the problem with the apathy. And I think if you're a younger person, listen to me. And if you're an older person, tell this to the younger people you know. The problem with being apathetic, with just soaking in the alienation, is it can cause you to feel depressed. It can cause you to feel like you have no energy and you can't do anything. And then it'll feed on itself. Where because of those feelings, you may feel you can't move forward, you can't do anything. So why even try? And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you need to do, or tell the youngsters to do, is to find something positive to put your energy with, something that will help you to grow, to learn, to move forward. Whatever that is, that's what you need to think about and do and focus on. Looking at your iPhone, your iPad, the screens is not the answer. The screens only encourage more alienation, more moving back, lying down, lying flat. Stop it. Get up, walk, move forward, go, do something, learn, grow. Those are the answers. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to think about now, or tell others to think about. Share this message, share this video, help these people out. Now, if you think I'm right, hit the like button. If you think I'm wrong, hit the dislike button. And if you want to get my next video update, hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell, and YouTube will send you an alert as soon as the next video is up, and I'll be talking with you later.